Welcome once again to Kangar as Australia's 1997 World Youth Cup campaign continues. Not so much pressure on the side tonight. The Australian side has qualified for the next round, the final round of 16, but as yet we're still unsure of the final position or the opponent. Argentina too are through with 2 wins from their 2 group games. As we take a look at their starting 11, they really have some talent in this squad. Cambiasso in midfield and Riquelme are both only 17 years of age and both playing starring roles already in this tournament. The number 10, Pablo Aimar, is the real danger man for Australia to watch. Les Scheinflug rates him extremely highly, and his partnership with Romeo up front is sure to test the Aussie defence. Well, Australia, in a sense, are still on adrenaline after Allsop's tournament rescuing goal against Hungary. As we take a look at the changes, and there's just one of them that has been made by Les Scheinflug, and Mark Robertson has earned himself a start in midfield, and it's Lucas Neal is the player who will miss out. Vince Grella led the way in midfield on Friday. He's vital to a cohesive Australia. Hayden Fox has shown his class, as has both Kasija and Salafasides. The 2 strikers haven't had a lot to work with at times, but still will threaten Argentina tonight. And on the bench we see the number 17 for Australia, Daniel Allsop, who will forget his goal against Hungary 3 nights ago. The referee, as you see there, is from Belgium. Armand Ancion will be in charge tonight. With me to anticipate the next 90 minutes is former Socceroo captain Charlie Yankos. Good evening, Charlie.
Good evening, Paul. And what an interesting game this is going to be for the young Socceroos. It's very important that they get some form, and when you look at Argentina and the calibre of these players, I think it's important that they do go out there and just feel confident. That's the most important thing. We could keep talking about the importance of an early touch, an early feel, possession, a little bit of confidence, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of nerves out there, and it's very, very important that they settle those nerves as quickly as possible.
As they're rated so highly, this Argentine side, they are the champions, of course, winning in Qatar in 1995. As we take a look at the Australian captain, Danny Milosevic, the only goalkeeper in the tournament who hasn't been beaten so far. So that's a proud honour for him, and I'm sure he would be delighted to hang on to that particular statistic after 90 minutes against Argentina. But you just wonder, Charlie, the intimidation factor, the reputation of Argentina. Australia played them in a friendly last November, and really were taught a bit of a lesson according to Les Scheinflug. They have come into this match knowing that they're through to the next round, so perhaps they can just relax a little bit.
Well, I don't think so. I think from a senior perspective, they know what the Socceroos can do, and they've put a lot of pressure on Argentina in the past, and we were fortunate to beat them 4-1 many years ago now, but I'm sure that's going to stick in their minds, and they're going to try to get in to this particular game and try to force that level of confidence and arrogance that they do have. I don't think they're going to be sitting back at all.
Michael Kasija will lead the attack for Australia, and Romeo, the number 9, will lead the attack for Argentina. And it's Argentina that kick off. Both sides are through to the last 16, but the order is yet to be finalised. A win here to Australia will see them take out Group E, which would be a real honour for them. And in theory, if you win the group, it should be a much easier match in the next round. Canada almost upset Argentina in the last game, losing by 2-1. It was only a second-half penalty to Argentina that got them through that one after Canada played very well. So Argentina perhaps with a point to prove after a disappointing performance in their last game. Australia trying to continue the improvement that they made in the match against Hungary. Cambiasso just playing it inside, foul by Damianos. Diaz takes over. Les Scheinflug is worried about 2 or 3 players in particular for Argentina. The number 18, who's just getting onto the ball now, Scaloni. And Mark Robertson has a job to do on Scaloni tonight. After watching Argentina play in earlier matches, he feels that Robertson is the man to stifle the influence of Scaloni in midfield. And number 8, Riquelme, and number 9, Romeo, are the other two that he's really concerned about. Simizic has a job to do on the number 8, Riquelme, the 17-year-old, remember. It's always good to come into matches with plans. Oh, that's a great little burst from Robertson to get past a couple. He wins the ball back. Zelic losing out. Scaloni takes over for Argentina. Casilla. As I was just about to say, Charlie, it's always good to come into games like this with plans on matchups, on who's going to mark who, but there's such an unpredictable element about what the opposition, particularly the Argentinians, will come up with, that sometimes plans can fall awry fairly early on in a game and you have to readjust. Yeah, most certainly. I think if you find the way the South American type teams play, they're very comfortable on the ball, they're fairly fluent. You find more than the normal 5 or 6 players attack. You get a lot of the defenders that contribute a lot in their attacking moves, and there's a lot of mobility, and I think it's important that the Australian players keep their shape. I'm sure Les Scheinflug's got magnificent tactics out here, and as long as those boys can put them through in this particular game early on, I think they'll do quite well. Argentina forward now with Riquelme. He scored in both games for Argentina so far. That is the 3-0 victory over Hungary and the 2-1 victory over Canada. He scored the penalty in the second half under pressure somewhat against the Canadians. Good bit of work here. Romeo down the line, got away from his man, but couldn't keep it in. And our first glimpse at the pace of Bernardo Romeo. He scored 4 goals in the qualifiers for Argentina, equal top scorer with his co-striker Pablo Aimar. Oh, that's a great ball. Damianos in behind a couple of his midfielders, joined quickly in attack. Emerton prepared to run at his man. Still Emerton. Well, just shoved off the ball there a little bit by Walter Samuel, and it went out for a goal kick. For Argentina is Nicolas Diaz. As the match goes on, we get more familiar with the opponents, particularly obviously the players that stand out. Standout players for Australia so far, according to Les Scheinflug, have been that man on the ball, Hayden Fox, who was fouled there by Scaloni, Danny Milosevic, and Vince Grella in the second game in particular. Fox just trying to shield the ball there, let it run out. Scaloni wasn't having any of that. He had to foul him to get at the ball, though he almost got away with it. And he is again. Riquelme. Up wide is Cambiaso. Riquelme again. Even though it's 8 o'clock local time, or just after 8 o'clock local time, the temperature here is still very warm. Doesn't seem to make much difference what time of the day it is. Emerton forward. Casilla, nice layup from him. Damianos. Quickly surrounded by blue and white shirts. They really do work very hard to close the opposition down as well, which is perhaps a feature that we don't give enough credit to countries like Argentina. We're too content, if you like, on focusing on their skill and passing, but they work very hard off the ball as well. Emerton, great play from him. Latsis keeps the ball for Australia. Good start from the young Socceroos. Grella just helping it forward. Given away just a little bit easily there. Oh, that's a brilliant ball in behind Australia's defence. Milosevic out. 1-0 Argentina. Milosevic beaten for the first time in the tournament. And we've only had to wait just 6 minutes into the game to catch a glimpse of the quality of this Argentinian side. It was a brilliant through ball there from Riquelme. Took every Australian defender out of the equation. Romeo kept his head, he went round the goalkeeper, and an easy finish. And a quality goal, Charlie.
Most certainly, and what a magnificent ball. From the side angle, it looked like he was slightly offside, but benefit of the doubt, kept his cool around the goalkeeper, and what a great strike. Unfortunate for the Socceroos as we see the build-up again. Riquelme plays a magnificent weighted pass, and he just gets around the keeper and slots it in.
Of course, the higher that Australia finishes in their group, the better it is for them in terms of their next opponents. They can win the group if they can take Argentina here tonight. But it was a tall order before the game, and now that they're a goal down, it's an even bigger mountain to climb. Still early days, of course. That is the positive thing to look at. Fox cutting out the through ball, aimed for Romeo once again. Robertson. Nice turn, getting the ball out to Zelic. Grella takes over. Zelic again. Forward Fox, always willing to join in if he can. Biaso with the loose ball. Oh, that's a clear foul. Well, Canada's surprising Argentina in that last game, almost causing an upset. That'll give Australia lots of hope. Les Scheinflakes believe that Argentina are beatable. He's convinced his side can go out there and really take the game to the South Americans. Zelic is trying to do here. Good ball in, great try. Well, that's exactly what we were just talking about. A positive run from Zelic down the left with a good first-time cross. And Kasija had more space than he realised, I think, there, and didn't get over the header at all. A real let-off for Argentina there. Australia will take some confidence from the quality of the move, but may also feel just a tinge of disappointment that it wasn't finished off. Well, that would have been the perfect response to the goal after 6 minutes to Romeo. Well defended there by Glatsis, shrugging off his equally big opponent. Brought down beautifully by Salapacidis. Emerton, foul. I was talking to Les Scheinflakes earlier on in the afternoon, Charlie. He told me that he felt his side really had to try and attack Argentina to have any chance at all. Just sitting back and defending the 0-0 draw that you always start a game with was not the answer, and it's a positive start from Australia, really.
It is. They're playing the ball around quite well. A lot of the players are getting involved. We saw Komblatsis breaking forward just before, playing the ball across to Ivan Zelic, and they've just got to keep the ball moving as much as possible and just be confident on it.
Munoz whipping in across hard and low, cut out easily by the defence. Fox with one of these long balls that was picking out Kasija so easily the other night, but so far not tonight. That's a bad foul on Damianos that was just a few moments earlier. It's a good crowd in tonight at the Hautama Stadium. Probably 3/4 full at least. As I guess you would expect between the two top teams in the group. Emerton willing to run at his man, goes past the first one, but the second defender did a good job. Damianos was going outside Brett Emerton there. Argentina play this style of slow build-up, almost slow movement as well, and then all of a sudden they can produce something electric like the through ball we just saw from Riquelme to totally surprise and catch out the defence, but Grella surprised his man there and won the ball. Robertson lost out. Scaloni takes over. It's good work from Emerton to steal the ball from Placenta. Markic, the captain, kept his eye on the ball in the tackle. Les Scheinflug was hoping that Argentina wouldn't be at full strength since they'd already qualified for the next round. A couple of the best players for Argentina, like Aymar, Samuel and Placenta, they're on yellow cards. I was hoping that they wouldn't be playing tonight, but only Aymar is missing. Pressure, gets the ball back to try again. Damianos, certainly Australia have some time on the ball until they get so far up the field, then Argentina start to close them down, but Grella here, some space as well. Robertson won the ball, but between the two of them, Damianos and Robertson, play goes on. Scaloni takes advantage of the advantage rule. Quintana. Grella will turn. And it was a much improved performance against Hungary for the young Socceroos, but still, in some people's eyes, not a convincing performance. Previous sides have set standards here on quarterfinals and semi-final places. Hoping that this side can continue with the Australian tradition, if you like. Now it's almost a tradition. We've done so well in recent World Youth Cups. Venezuela forward, continued his run forward, and that's a foul on Quintana. Robertson just a little bit late there. I don't think there was any malice in the intention anyway. He just passes on that thought to the referee to try and enable the official to keep the yellow card in his pocket, because it looked worse than what it was, I think. Charlie, it's almost a pity that Australia, of course it's a pity, but it's Australia conceded that early goal, but they have started the game quite well, but they're a goal down, even though they have looked apart so far in this opening 15 minutes.
Yeah, they've been playing the ball around quite comfortably. The unfortunate thing is that I don't feel that they're penetrating down the flanks. We saw Emerton break a few times down the right-hand side and Zelic just once, and I think it's important that they keep possession and start putting the Argentinians under pressure. The Argentinians are quite comfortable holding the ball, drawing the defence out, and then splitting, playing magnificent passes to split the defence. And I think it's important that Australia keep that composure and put the Argentinians under pressure in the midfield area or in their defensive area.
Cambiasso. Lead on to Placente. Here he is again. Here's Cambiasso, who is the only foreign-based player in the side. He plays for Real Madrid. He went to Real Madrid when he was just 15 years of age. He's still only 17. So definitely one to watch out for, the Argentinian number 5. Emerton, Demianos. Procedure, little ball over the top. Hoping that Salapasides would turn and check to the right. And Biasso goes back. Markic. Venezuela. The goal scorer comes to get the ball. And Biasso coming more and more into the game. That's a nice ball out wide. So as well, a little ball into the gap. Quintana has got 2 men on him very quickly, but he gets the throw in. Certainly the build-up had a nice look about it, and there was the penetrated ball into the penalty area as well, but Australia handled itself well in defence. Cerezuela with the cross. Away by Blatzes. Cambiasso for Argentina. Here he is again. Spraying it out wide quickly to Placente. Oh, given away easily to Grella. Robertson. There's nowhere for him to go. And a half minutes gone here in Kanga. If you've just joined us, Australia down by a goal to nil. Argentina started strongly and Romeo found the back of the net after 6 minutes. Australia have since settled into the game nicely. And Biasa, good ball. Romeo again. Cause for concern. Pulled back by him, no one on the edge of the area from an Argentinian perspective. Grella there for Australia though. Salapasides with a good run off the ball. Grella pulling the strings from the centre of midfield. Robertson. Demianos. Grella won it in the air. Emerton can't get there. Certainly hard, Charlie, once you give the ball away to get it back off this team, isn't it? They seem to be able to keep it for an awfully long time. As they come forward here, and the shot comes in, Milosevic. Well, he was prepared to dive for it, which just tells us that it was very close indeed from Quintana. But once again, they were deceptive in the speed of the attack. It just seemed to be lolling in midfield for some time, and the next minute they're firing shots in on goal.
Yeah, Paul, I think it's a feature of the Argentinians, the way they play, as we see the strike again. It wasn't too far wide, but they seem to knock the ball around, and what we're finding is the young Socceroos are defending as individuals, and against the team and the quality of the players that we're seeing out here from Argentina, they can't afford to do that. They need to hunt in packs, and they need to communicate a little bit more to close the players down a lot quicker. As we saw the Argentinians there was 3 players around Ivan Zelic, and that's the reasons why. When they're all organised, they attack, they get the ball, and then they keep possession of it. And I think the young Socceroos have got to do that a lot more.
Just in case you're wondering about how hot the conditions are here, just take a look at the sweat on the referee and some of the players. Mid-30s still here in Kangar. Well into the 90s in terms of humidity as well. That's the Argentinian coach Jose Peckerman, who was the coach in 1995 when they won the title in Qatar. Take another look here at what that foul was for, and it was against Salapasides. Vicente having to just check his run forward for a moment. Inside to Diaz. Biasso. Argentina prepared to keep the ball for an awfully long time in their own half before they finally do something penetrative coming forward, as they have done here. Oh, that's great defending by Blatsis, who was just a little unlucky there. Belgian referee, Mr. Ancion. Argentina forward again. Australia forced to be patient with their defending and wait for a good opening. Wait for a slack pass, which doesn't come that often. Fox. Nice ball out of defence from him. Very accurate pass from Hayden Fox, but Australia can't afford to give the ball away too quickly. They're working overtime when they haven't got the ball. Riquelme. Good turn, good shot. Snap chance there from Quintana. Straight into the goalkeeper's chest in the end, which was good from an Australian perspective, but it was a quick control and a quick turn, and the shot packed a punch as well. Fox, Damianos, Emerton. Fox forward still. Zelic coming inside. Good positive run from Ivan Zelic. Well won back by Robertson. Grella now takes over for Australia. Oh, that was well under hit. An easy intercept there for Romeo, who snuck in behind Bill Damianos there. .4.5 minutes gone. Still Argentina with that 1 goal advantage. Bill Damianos for Australia to his Carlton teammate Grella, touched on delightfully by Robertson. Sinisic now. In very quickly there was the number 4 Sarazuela. Sinisic just catching it in the face, I think, somewhat accidentally. Damianos. Emerton. Is there something here for Australia? Little ball over the top. Plenty of height. Here's Casilla at the back post. Well, he had to go for goal because the goalkeeper was coming out so quickly, and I don't think there was anyone to pull it back. Kasija sized up the opportunity fairly quickly. It was totally unmarked here. The angle was tight, but he fancied his chances, and the goalkeeper saved that one. Leonardo Franco. And another good moment in attack for Australia as Grella takes the corner. Franco comes, and that's a good take. And a very clever kick out from Franco. Argentina on the break. Quintana. Good ball to Romeo. Just look at the speed of the attack. Australia trying to reorganise themselves in defence. Scaloni pulled it back. Milosevic caught out for a moment there by the shot, but he recovered quickly.
Paul, what a magnificent move. We see him breaking deep, and most players would look at trying to whip it into the near post, and that was a definite attempt at goal there. Nearly caught Milosevic out. But we talk about the Argentinian play. We saw from a free kick, corner from the Australian team. All of a sudden they've counter-attacked 2 or 3 passes later, and they're right there, nearly scoring a goal. And I think that's something that the young Socceroos have to be very careful of. They can't afford to give away the ball cheaply in a game like this with a team like Argentina, who's playing so fluently. They all feel comfortable on the ball, and they break very, very quickly from the defence.
These two sides had met before at under-20 level in a competition back in 1981 in a World Cup group match in Sydney. They were drawn in the same group, and Australia came away with a memorable 2-1 victory there as Fox tries his luck. Good effort. Hayden Fox, it's his birthday today. The side are hoping to produce something special for him just for that reason. And that's a great bit of play by Emerton. Australia looking a little bit more positive. We've seen Fox take some long pot shots earlier on in the tournament, so we know he can hit the ball very nicely indeed. It was straight into the chest of the goalkeeper on that occasion. Robertson now for Australia. Zelic wasn't really expecting the ball then, I don't think, and certainly had no room to operate if he did get it. Beating of the drums in the background is so often a part of matches with South American sides. Certainly the local supporters have got right into this whole World Youth Cup. Good turnouts for matches and enthusiastic support of teams. Their own side hasn't done so well, of course. Malaysia lost 3 out of 3 in their group matches. In fact, in every game they played, they conceded 3 goals as well. That's a lovely move. Argentina forward. Cerezuela on the line. There's Romeo. Well played, Zelic. Robertson will put a challenge in. Strong one as well. Too strong perhaps on Scaloni. The Belgian referee wants to talk to Matt Robertson. In fact, he wants to tell the Argentine player to get up quickly. Let's take another look at the challenge here. There's more a clattering of bodies than any studs on the shins there.
Well, I don't think it was deliberate. It was more of a clumsy tackle from Mark Robertson. Socceroos cannot afford, the young Socceroos can't afford to give away another goal. The Argentinians in the last 15-20 minutes have really taken control of this game. They're really frustrating the Australian players.
Milosevic keen to get his players forward quickly, just urging Emerton on, and Blacksis now takes over. Robertson, good ball out wide to Zelic in a very forward position, that's good to see. Robertson again. Grella goes past one. Certainly things tighten up so quickly when Australia gets into that attacking third of the park. There's no room to operate. The defenders are so close to Salapasides and Kasija, the two strikers for Australia.
Paul, one of the reasons for that is that they're very static on the ball. You find that the midfield, the Australian midfield is just holding it, and there's not that much movement off the ball, and I think they're trying to penetrate the Argentinian defence right in the middle, and that's where they're well organised. And the only way they're going to be able to get through there is to get around them. So far, we haven't really seen, apart from early on in the first 5 or 6 minutes, we haven't really seen too many runs that get behind the Argentinian defence. They've got to do that more frequently, and the only way to do that is to have players from the midfield breaking and overlapping, and you find Salapasides or Kasija actually coming in, creating those spaces on the flanks, and that's the only way they're going to really create any heartache to the Argentinian defence.
Milosevic tested, he dropped it, he recovered though, Romeo's up. A rare blemish for Danny Milosevic. Argentina in possession. Diaz. Riquelme takes over. Getting ball across to Scaloni. Cerezuela cutting inside, tries his luck, easy from Milosevic this time.
And Paul, just by contrast, we saw the Argentinians attack, and there was 2 players that actually came to the right-hand flank, and they've stretched the Australian young Socceroos defence, and they're creating a lot of havoc there because the defender doesn't know whether to go wide with the player or stay in that organised position in the middle of the defence. I think the young Socceroos have got to do that a lot more.
Daminos waiting for some movement out wide. It comes in the end for Blacksis. He goes past one. Still Blacksis forward. Got Emerton out wide. Here's Emerton. Cross comes in, easily handled by the defence. And a good ball out of defence as well to the galloping Romeo, who has time to get his head up and just see what the options are. He's picked out Scaloni at the back post. Great ball to him. Whipped back onto the edge of the penalty area. Still Argentina forward, Cambiasso. Scaloni now, Australia regrouping. And Cerezuela with an unfortunate slip as he took that shot. It was an attack that really promised far more for Argentina than they got in the end. With that speedy break out of defence. Earlier on in the day, Canada beat Hungary by 2-1 to move up to 4 points in the group, equal with Australia. Canada have a 3-3 goals for, goals against tally. Australia, now having conceded a goal here, have a 1-1 scenario. So if nothing changed, Canada would finish second in Group E, Australia would finish third. The Aussie side would be drawn against either Uruguay or Spain, most likely in the round of 16. If they could manage a draw here, Australia, they'd play England And if they can beat the Argentinian side here, they'll go on to play Mexico. Grella allowed to go forward. And Biaso coming over just a little bit slowly to check it. Grella checks inside. And Munoz. Zelic. Given away easily by Ivan Zelic. Riquelme takes over for Argentina. Great play from Simizic to get there first. .6.5 minutes gone here in Kangar. Australia still a goal down. They've had a couple of good moments in attack though, one in particular to Michael Kasija, who beat the offside trap. And Grella just holding back a second. Scaloni for Argentina. Milosevic easily onto that one. These two sides met in November of last year when the young Socceroos went on a tour of South America. On that occasion, Argentina were too good for Australia by 2-1. Australia also lost to Uruguay 4-1. So they'll be hoping to avoid them in the next round if they possibly can, as Emerton whips over across. Good ball, Salapacides. And not for the first time in the game. Argentina's marking at the back has just been a little bit slack when crosses are coming in. Kasija had a free header earlier on in the game, and Salapacides there certainly didn't have an opponent to beat on that jump, Charlie.
Paul, we were talking about the importance of getting players behind, and there we saw Brett Emerton getting behind the defence and playing a great ball across, and I think that's the only way they're going to really create good opportunities. The Argentinians are sitting back there, letting him hold the ball, so all they have to do is just, as we see a break, Salapacides.
Oh, that's a goal! Salapacides has equalised for Australia. And the Argentinian defence just guilty of a little overindulgence there. They allowed the ball to bounce a number of times. Kasija did so well to wait patiently. Just look at that pass. And Salapacides equally up to the task. And that is a quality goal at any level from Kostas Salapacides.
And what a magnificent pass by Kasija. It's one of those rare things with the outside of the foot, just flicking it over. And the Argentinian defence caught flat. And a magnificent flick over the goalkeeper. Absolute no chance. What a magnificent goal.
Well, Australia will be boosted by that goal without a doubt. Damianos continuing forward. Australia going in look of another. A little ball in behind. Great ball. Chance for Australia. A second. 2 in a minute to Salapacides. That is unbelievable stuff, and Damianos must hold his head up for that one, because it was a brilliant through ball from him that we've just seen there. Salapacides kept his head, he just placed it past the goalkeeper, and it had enough power to get past Franco. 2-1 Australia.
Well, we were talking about the Argentinians and how they play balls through the defence, and nice nutmeg, and Salapacides very quick on the ball and puts it past the keeper. What a magnificent goal. And now the Argentinians are right under pressure, having control of most of the game. As we see the build-up again, fantastic ball through and a great finish. The Argentinians were in control for most of the game, and all of a sudden how the tables have turned.
Well, somehow Australia have literally turned this game 180 degrees in a matter of a minute, and Salapasidis has been at the point of both moves. But Damianos and Kasija, two South Melbourne players, well, one's Carlton now, of course, and Damianos, can both hold their hands up and take a round of applause for their parts in the goal. Kasija's little flick with the outside of the foot for the first one, Damianos for the through ball for the second. And Argentina just aren't quite sure what's happened to this game now. We've got 4 minutes to go till half-time. As Milosevic comes and punches well. Loose ball. Scaloni. Australia clear the ball away. And Argentina just seem to have stepped up the pace a little bit, as though they're so surprised that they're actually trailing in the game. It's a free kick for Argentina. And with 3 minutes to go till half-time, Charlie, absolutely vital that Australia hold the lead till the break.
Yes, very important. They've been put under a lot of pressure in terms of possession. The Argentinians have done that exceptionally well so far, and it's important that they go into the break with this advantage. We can see the Argentinians, they're going to be putting a lot of pressure to try to get that deficit down, and it's important that we just keep our head, keep playing the ball around, don't just go into a defensive mode. They can't afford to do that, and they've just got to keep playing positive. That's the whole idea, and the fact that they're 2-1 up now is a magnificent effort for the boys so far.
Good ball in behind to the number 7, Quintana. Getting away from his man, trying to work across him. Ball to the near post, cleared away. The defenders extremely vigilant. Platsis, the stitches above his left brow there from the game the other night. To Serrazuela, dangerous here for Australia. Good ball into the back post, Milosevic saves. A good save as well from Danny Milosevic. But Argentina showing that they're not prepared to just sit back and let Australia take over the game, which they really have done in the last 5 to 10 minutes or so. Robertson, Fox now. Zealot's trying to get in there, but he loses out to Scaloni. It's a good through ball. Platsis is very quick, but he's lost out here. Scaloni, danger for Australia. Good ball to the back post. Away by Emerton. Cambiaso. Still Cambiaso. Well, since Salapasidis got the second goal for Australia, the Australian defence has been right under pressure from all directions and all corners. This is an earlier chance here. Serrazuela with the cross. Milosevic with the save. And Australia now, with about 15 seconds to go till 45 minutes is up. So perhaps a minute or two after that. Kasija nicely robs the number 6 market. Fox. More pressure on the Australians on the ball now than we've seen earlier on in the game. Fox takes over again. Grella. Well, it's half-time here in Kangar, and once again this young Socceroos side has surprised us and given us something unexpected. We saw it the other night when Daniel Allsop popped up with that last-minute winner, but who could have picked this? Salapasidis with 2 goals in a minute has stunned the Argentinian side here. Casilla and Damianos with brilliant supporting roles in both goals. Australia recovering well at the end of the half after going behind in the 6th minute to a goal by Romeo. It's Australia 2, Argentina 1. Welcome back to Kangar for the start of the second half here. And Adelaide City's Costas Salapacidis saw Australia go in with that 2-goal-to-1 advantage. 2 goals within 60 seconds from the young striker. Both Argentina and Australia have made the World Youth Cup finals on 8 occasions. But Argentina have won the trophy twice. They're 3rd on the all-time FIFA Under-20 list. Won the championship in 1979 in Diego Maradona's era, and then again in 1995 in Qatar. But they're on the back foot here to an Australian side that is getting better and better as the tournament goes on. Emerton with a positive run. Zelic also looking to get forward at every opportunity. Great ball to Zelic from Everton. Emerton continues on his run over to the left but can't carry on for Australia. Just to look at some other half-time scores. Spain well in charge over Costa Rica. No score between the United Arab Emirates and the Ivory Coast, the 2 3rd and 4th place getters in Group F. Earlier on tonight we saw England beat Mexico by 1-0 to win Group F with a 100% record. As I mentioned earlier, there's still a chance that Australia would play England in the last 16, depending on the outcome of this match. If it finishes in a draw, that is the scenario. But Australia have their hearts and their eyes set on a victory now. And Biaso. Venezuela with the long ball, won by Fox. Quintana picks up the ball. That's an Argentinian ball. Leonardo Franco, the Argentinian goalkeeper, was stunned by Costas Salapacidis. Twice he was beaten after only having conceded 1 goal in the tournament so far. Venezuela with the free kick, away by Blatzes at the far post. Milosevic, the captain. You see all the Argentinian substitutes warming up behind the Australian goal. Diaz takes the corner. One in the air, but easy for Australia. It was Walter Samuel, who plays for Newell's Old Boys, who took the final attempt on goal. 3 players in this Argentinian side are from Argentina Juniors, 2 from Newell's. Australia just put themselves under a little bit of pressure there. They can't afford to let Argentina back in the game. Varela trying to apply some pressure, closing down very quickly. The referee from Belgium, Mr. Ancion, says that's enough of that. The danger, I guess, for Australia now is sitting back and hoping to hang on for the next 40 minutes or so in this game as Diaz takes the free kick. And in the air, Zelic can't get there. Venezuela. That's good play from him. Zelic defended well, though, very well indeed. And Fox goes long to Australia. Good ball to Casilla as well. It must be tempting, Charlie, for the players to try and sit back and just sure Les Scheinflug's trying to get them to be positive and go forward, but the temptation for players is to just hang on a little bit.
You think that way, but I think you can't afford to do that with a team like Argentina. We've seen it on too many occasions where they're such a good team, they're able to create opportunities, they're able to create space, and one of the features that they do is they knock the ball and play the good 1-2, so it doesn't matter how tight it is. As we can see, they're so composed on the ball, they can play jinky balls.
Good bit of play there from Quintana. So quick, so electric with that pace over 5 metres, the very small striker. We were talking earlier, Charlie, about the advantage sometimes of being small, and he's half the size of some of those Australian defenders, but they couldn't contain him there.
I was just saying, this is a situation where we had 5 or 6 players and they still managed to get a ball through. So it doesn't matter how you defend unless you're well organised and you look at the runners and look after the runners and even check them so they don't get that space. You're going to get caught out in the majority of the cases. So I think it's important that Australia are very composed and they keep playing the way they have been playing. It's been very positive. When they're on the ball, they feel quite comfortable, and I think they've just got to keep going. Here's Robertson putting pressure on. They just need to work as a unit and just keep putting the pressure on.
Quintana again is proving to be a bit of a handful at the moment for the Australian defence. Emerton will get there first. Markin starts things off again for Argentina. Long ball this time. Bad challenge there from Nicolas Diaz. Well, I can't believe that, but I think Romeo was just complaining to the referee about the decision, but it was a blatant foul by his teammate. Milosevic urging his team to get forward and push on. Salpacidis. Markic with the clearance. Grella, not a tall player. In comes Big Comblatzis, he's good in the air. And again, this little number 7, Quintana, is running Australia ragged at the moment. It was left there by Diaz, and Grella takes over. And now Fox, good ball out wide to Robertson. Zelic inside. Fox again. Some composure from Australia now with Grella and Fox in charge. Fox goes long, looking for the run from Emerton. Great ball from Hayden Fox. Emerton beat his man, but just ran out of space. A tremendous pass sprayed out of defence there from Hayden Fox. All of these short options were closed down, so he created a longer one.
Well, we've seen Hayden Fox get involved in a lot of the young Socceroos build-up, and I think it's important that he keeps playing that role. He seems quite comfortable, he moves quite freely, and he's a great finisher, and I think it's important that he keeps that feature going. And the more the game goes on, you find if the Argentinians aren't scoring, they're going to put themselves under a lot more pressure, and you'll find that they'll probably start cracking and probably get a little bit more violent, which is typical of when things aren't going well for them.
Comblatzis just a moment earlier there with a great bit of work. Had a couple of players with some good skill, won the ball initially and played it on. There's no way Australia will be lying down here at any stretch of the imagination. They are such a gritty side, this era of young Socceroo players. Emerton, still Emerton, waiting for someone out left. Salpacidis, is it a third? It is! Hat-trick to Salpacidis. 3 for Australia. And another example of an extremely well-worked move from the young Socceroos coming forward. Emerton it was, as the bit part player this time, to set up Costa Salpacidis. Well, this is a day he will never ever forget. The young Adelaide City striker. Emerton kept going across There was doubt about where he was going, but Salapasidis was kept onside by the number 3 Samuel. And again, Franco is beaten.
Well, we talk about the finishing. What a magnificent finish from Salapasidis. Took control, slotted it, past the keeper without any major problem. But what a magnificent move from Brett Emerton as well. And prior to that, Bill Damianos, who actually passed the ball across and did the overlapping run, took 2 of the Argentinian defenders with him, and it allowed Emerton to come across field, open the space up, find Salapasidis, and what a magnificent finish and what a magnificent result so far. 3-1, brings back some memories.
I know you're hoping for just one more, Charlie, to reminisce over 1988, but to be 3-1 up against the reigning World Youth Cup champions is already a phenomenal achievement for this side. They have been written off somewhat from their earlier performances, but now they're staring firmly at topping the group. Romeo, shot muffled somewhat by the challenge from Blatzis. Jose Peckerman doesn't quite know what to make of it all, I don't think. Still some work for Australia to do, though. No room yet to celebrate or get complacent. We've had just 11 minutes of this second half. Salapasidis, this time at the front post of the defence. What a match he's had. Australia have struggled to find the back of the net in this tournament. Coming into the game, they'd managed 1 goal in 180 minutes of football. Now they've managed 3 against the world champions in under an hour. And Tanzil Beza is coming on. And it's Ivan Zelic who's going off. The 3rd match in a row that Shineplug has made this change. Franco, a few moments ago, was beaten for the 3rd time in the game. Beza keen to get in the thick of things, the South Melbourne midfielder. Oh, look at this, no marking, hits the post. What a let-off there for Australia. They were a mess at the back. Quintana only had Milosevic to beat.
Well, we had a situation here where there was 4 Australian players and they just all left the Argentinian just sitting there all by himself. Very, very fortunate that that wasn't a goal. Quintana's causing a lot of problems. He's so nippy. He's very good at taking players on, creating some extra space, as we see here.
Quintana again. Australia survived. Beza with his first touch, and it's a saving touch. Well, Kasija hopes to give his defence a breather just by hanging on to the ball for a moment or two. And he's done a good job there, Michael Kasija. Well, surely it's an Australian throw there. But Quintana is running the Australian defence ragged here. When I was talking to Les Shineplug earlier on in the day, he mentioned 4 or 5 players that he really admired in this Argentinian side, but Quintana wasn't one of them, so I don't know where they've been hiding him. As Romeo goes through, Milosevic brought him down, penalty. In fact, well, it's interesting here. He's bringing out the yellow card as we take another look at the replay. Well, Milosevic pulled out of the challenge.
Most certainly pulled out, and that was a deliberate dive, and certainly a cautionable offence there. Unsportsmanlike.
Yellow card for Romeo, and a great bit of goalkeeping, it has to be said, from Milosevic, who you can see there pulled his arms away from the challenge. It was the way the referee ran straight up to Danny Milosevic. I thought he must have given the penalty, but...
Well, you find most goalkeepers, when they're committed like that, they actually go and try to get the ball. And in that case, you saw that there was no way he was going to be able to get to it, and he just pulled out. Very good thinking, very last-minute stuff. But I think at this point in time, Paul, the Australian team's been put under a lot of pressure. The Argentinians want to get that goal back straight away to keep in touch, and it's important that when they get possession that they don't lose it. They've got to keep possession as much as possible, and that is going to frustrate the Argentinians more and more.
That is the shape of the game, without a doubt, as we see the number 14 percenter for Argentina forward. Blatsis, calm, Emerton. Good play from Con Blatsis there. Casija helping it on, Damianos. That's better from Australia. But what will Australia do about Quintana? That is the question. He is playing on both sides of the park. There's no pattern to what he's doing, except from the point of view that he's making it very hard for the Australian defenders every time he gets the ball.
Well, I think it's important that they make sure that when he has got the ball that he's facing the touch lines more than anything else, and they get numbers to communicate, somebody to close him down very quickly, somebody else to be just behind just in case he breaks forward, and they tackling numbers. That's the most important feature.
Well, here is the danger man, and that's a great ball. Quintana this time, he's missed it. Australia survive again. But Aymar laid it on a plate there for Quintana. Just Milosevic to beat, and he missed it by a mile in the end. And the Australian defence is hanging on somewhat here, Charlie.
Yeah, they were caught out wide, the quick break, and a magnificent ball wide. But again, they've just got to be composed there, giving the ball away very, very cheaply. And you've got to remember, they're the ones that are winning 3-1 at this point in time, so they've just got to be a little bit more composed on the ball. Keep playing the way they have been, rather than just give the ball away.
We've had 17 minutes of the second half, so it's an awfully long time to try and hang on. But they're just being forced back to a certain extent by the pace and power of this Argentinian side. There is the number 10, Aymar, who's come on as a substitute. Pablo Aymar. He scored 4 goals in the qualifiers for Argentina. He's rated as their best player. As you see Australia about to make a change as well. They're bringing Lucas Neal on, the busy midfielder. And it'll be Mark Robertson, I suggest, who'll be going off. Yes, it is. There he goes. But Pablo Aymar, just getting back to him, he was voted best player in all of the South American qualifiers. He already plays for the River Plate first team. He came into the match on a yellow card, and that's why his coach didn't start him in the game. But when you're 3-1 down, you have to make some changes. Another one for Australia to watch, but they are in the driving seat at the moment with this 2-goal cushion.
Well, certainly the Argentinians have picked up the pace. They're a lot more fluent on the ball, and they're very, very sharp. They're playing it, and they're moving, and they're causing a lot of problems for the Australian players.
Aymar with the corner to the near post. Well dealt with by Emerton. Samuel jumping. As Scheinflug has decided that fresh legs is the way to go when your defence is being overworked. He's brought on Tanzil Beza and Lucas Neal. Lucas Neal's very much a hustle and bustle type of player. Coach is probably hoping he'll get stuck in midfield and win some ball for the side. Aymar. Riquelme. Aymar again. Ball across. Good save. Positive take too from Danny Milosevic.
Well, I was talking about the situation of giving the ball away cheaply, and even in that situation, the Australian team's been put under so much pressure. Danny Milosevic just clears it forward, and they're all pegged back again.
between two Australian players there. Everyone behind the ball for Australia. Damianos. Scaloni out wide. Serrazuela. Neil across. Well, unnecessary foul there by Beza because the ball was already lost. And it's a dangerous position too. Just outside the edge of the Australian penalty area. And a goal now to Argentina would see Australia under even more pressure, if that's possible, for the remaining 25 minutes or so. Well, that wall must be 12 to 15 metres back, not 10. Riquelme over the ball. Salapacides prepared to chase it down. Milosevic guarding the near post. And he just moves across to the other side. Curled over the bar. Roman Riquelme. A goal a game so far for him in the tournament, but none so far tonight. Vicente. Riquelme. Serrazuela. Neil back there, clearing long. Momentary lapse or just a moment of respite for the defence. A great ball through the centre, surely this time. Milosevic defies Quintana once again. And in that particular personal duel, Milosevic is well and truly ahead. Quintana could have had a hat-trick in the second half alone. That's better from Neil, getting stuck in there, but he pushed his man after the ball had been won, and it was well spotted by the referee. Scaloni. Away by Fox. Now that will please Danny Milosevic to see some of the Argentinian players lining shots up from 30 metres. It will take a shot and a half to beat him from there. As we see this earlier incident, Aymar delightfully took out three Australians with that ball there. Quintana, well, Milosevic made himself look very big in the one-on-one situation. Just spread himself well. Good technique from the Australian goalkeeper.
Recall the introduction of Aymar, what a difference he's made already in this game. He's a live wire. Every time he's touching the ball, he's taking on an Australian player and getting past him easily. As we see him, he feels so comfortable on the ball. He's just getting past, under control, and he generally plays a magnificent ball through as we see a free kick. Again, the frustration setting in the Australian players. They've got to be a lot more composed now.
Well, he almost got a great through ball there, Aymar, but he was fouled just before the pass went through, and the Scheinflug is bringing on Ralph Bove, the UTS Olympic midfielder. He's saying, are you ready to bring him on yet? But they are going to make the change now. And it's Michael Kasija who's going off, as Les Scheinflug tries to batten down the hatches somewhat with that change. He's had his moments in the tournament, Michael Kasija, but tonight Australia's outstanding striker, without a doubt, is Salapacides with the three. Bove will slot into midfield to try and nullify the likes of Aymar and Quintana, I'm sure, as this free kick comes in. Oh, own goal, was it? Tragedy for Australia either way. The pressure has finally told. And I suspect that Komplats has put through his own net there. But we'll take another look at the free kick here. In fact, it was scored by an Argentinian player. But regardless of the scorer, Argentina are back in the game. It's 3-2 for Australia now. And it's Placente, the midfielder, who's got Argentina back on track. And Australia, with 20 minutes to go in this second half. Well, that will seem like an awfully long time to the 11 players out on the park. All 3 substitutes have been used by Les Scheinflug. We'll wait to see where Bove slots in. He may have come on just to go out and mark Aymar.
Well, we were talking about the feature of the Argentinians, how fluent they are. And every time they've got the ball, they play it freely and they always go to look for it. And it's important that the Australian players stay with their runners. They can't afford to let the person go after they've knocked the ball, because they'll always create space and they'll put a lot more pressure on everyone.
Argentina with a corner. Cerezuela. Plenty forward for them. Milosevic stays on his line. Headed over by Samuel. This match just a little bit, Charlie, reminds me of the Olympic Games match when Australia went 2-0 up against Spain, and then were just under a constant barrage as Spain came back in the game. 2 goals wasn't enough that day. Australia have got 3 on the board today.
Well, the way the game's panning and you look at the momentum of the Argentinians, you feel that they're about to score more, and I think it's unless the Australian players can get the ball on the ground, keep control of it. I think that's important. Here they are, they're all sitting way back.
Milosevic fouled. Stray boot in there on the hand of Danny Milosevic. He's in some pain, as you can see, but he was so brave to come out and get that ball. Good save that from Milosevic. It was Placente coming in again. But really, the young Socceroos needing Vince Grella and Bill Damianos to get more involved in the game, to put their foot on the ball and just hold it up like they have been doing for most of the game.
I think it's important, Paul, that they do take control. They have to start working as a team. They've played exceptionally well so far. As we see the free kick again, a great striker goal. Unfortunately, Danny Milosevic couldn't hold it. I think if anything, he should have tried to parry it around the post. He probably got too much of his hand onto the ball there. It was always going to be difficult for them to try to get rid of it or clear it as a defensive unit. Again, I think it's important the Australian players really take control. They have to take control. All credit to the Argentinians, however. They aren't. They're really putting a lot of pressure on them. They're keeping the ball moving as much as possible. They're creating a lot of space, and that's important. And I think unless the Australian players can get the ball on the ground, get it in the Argentinians' half, I think it's important that they do that. They have to move out. They're sitting way back, too far. And as we saw with the Argentinians, it doesn't matter. On a one-on-one situation, they're going to get past their player, and then they're going to create the 2-on-1s or 3-on-1s, and they play magnificent weighted passes into the defence. And it's important, as I said, the Australians start playing more as a unit.
Well, at the moment they're more concerned about their captain, Milosevic, taking an awfully long time to get back on his feet after that kick in his hand. Placente got Argentina back on track with that goal in the 70th minute. He's obviously not 100% Milosevic, but they can't make any changes. They have used their 3 substitutes. He has to stay on. Peter Zeus is the reserve goalkeeper, but if Milosevic had to go off, they'd have to play with 10 men and put an outfield player in goal.
Paul, I think he was just trying to break a little bit, slow the momentum down of the Argentinians more than anything else. And it's important that they regroup here. There's still some time to go in this game, and they cannot afford just to sit there and try to defend this result.
Fox losing out. Vicente takes over. Making his way across the field, Cambiasso. He'll kill me. Just losing out here, corner to Argentina. The whole game really is being played in Australia's half, and the majority in Australia's defensive third, if you like. So they really are being overworked. Way by Fox, crucial win there. Salapacidis can't bring it down. Cerezuela for Argentina. Fox not prepared to take any chances, even though Milosevic called for it. And that's the sign of the strain that is on the defence. Just look at the face of Hayden Fox. He's all concentration and determination. Can they hold out? One in the air by Placente. He couldn't direct it on goal. Still Argentina go in search of an equaliser. Scaloni! Super try that from a long way out.
Paul, what a magnificent strike from this far out. He looks up, has a good look, has a strike, and fortunately for the Australians it went over the bar. Again, we're sitting far too far back. I think we need to get forward more. It's important some of the key players here start to work as a unit and start talking.
Aymar, Gorilla up the park. Salapacidis all on his own now, of course. With procedure going off. Neil, Cerezuela, Scaloni. Australia have a number of players back, but Argentina, well, it was hacked away by Damianos in the end. Certainly in the penalty area, Australia seem to have twice as many players as their opponents. The ball is still finding the blue and white shirt when it comes across. Romero, another substitute, takes the corner. Away by Lucas Neal. Shot comes in. Well, it's gone Australia's way, that decision. And every tiny little decision that does go your way like that just seems like the biggest break in the world, because you've then got maybe a minute or two to just gather your breath and reshape the defence, reorganise, encourage your teammates.
Well, you have to feel for the Australian players. They've been doing so much defending. And here's another cheap ball going, but they've been put under so much pressure. They find it so much more difficult that when they get the ball, they don't really know what to do with it. And as I said, players like Lucas Neal, who's just come on with fresh legs, it's important that he starts taking control of that ball and starts working something with it.
Too far. We've had 34 minutes of this second half, but we did lose quite a bit of time with the injury to Danny Milosevic. But it's just too tempting to keep glancing at the watch and just see how long there is to go. I mentioned earlier, back in 1981, Australia scored a memorable victory over Argentina. 2-1 in the World Youth Cup. And have senior level. 1988, of course, that magnificent 4-1 victory. Charlie Ancross will never forget that day. But Aymar trying to put Australia to the sword here. 3 players around him. He got past a couple. Well, it's gone across the goal somehow. Vicente. Riquelme. Waiting for movement and openings in this packed Australian defence, which really is just hanging on. Well, they're just a little disorganised there, Beza and Neil. Now they're tidying up the shape. The header comes in. Romeo opened the scoring after 6 minutes with a superbly taken goal from a great ball. And Argentina really did look to be too good for Australia, but Salapasides with 3 goals has given this Australian side a real boost for the rest of the tournament. It's a rare moment in Argentina's half for Australia.
Yeah, you can see there, Paul, Les Scheinflock says that we've got to play with the ball, keep possession. He realises the importance with about 10 minutes or so to go. They cannot afford to just give the ball away so cheaply. They've done exceptionally well so far, and there's still a long way to go in this tournament for them, so it's important that they still soak up all the pressure that they've had so far and now try to get back into the game. Try to keep possession as we see a foul.
Grella putting his foot on the ball nicely. Fox trying to hang on to it. Given away though. It's almost a double-edged sword, isn't it? Trying to hang on to the ball to slow it down to get the passing going, but it's frustrating when possession is lost in the tackle so quickly. Beza in. Good tackle. Very good tackle indeed from Tanzil Beza. Just using his big body to protect the ball as well, and he's did well there, Tanzil Beza, because he's milked a free kick at the same time. Scaloni with the foul. Grella goes short. Fox now looks a little longer. Just one up front. Salapasides. Beza picks up the ball. Back to the birthday boy, Hayden Fox. Well, this is the first bit of passing moments that Australia have had in an awfully long time. They've won it back here. Cambiasso lost out. That's a yellow card, and I think it went to Brett Emerton. The yellow card situation is not really a problem at all for Australia. There was only Konblatsis who came into this match with 1 yellow card, and that was it. At the start of the round of 16, all yellow cards disappeared. It's a fresh start. So Blatsis doesn't have to worry about today's game. Beza looked a little bit like handball, but he's got past his man nicely. Still Beza. It's good play from Tanzil Beza. A sensible play, intelligent play. He's won a corner for Australia. And it's their first moment in attack for an awfully long time.
It certainly has been, Paul. I think you won't see too many Australian players in the box at this point in time. But I think they should just keep possession. And I think it's important the midfielders get more involved in the game.
Well, Damien Ossel tries luck. And a goal now to Australia would just bring the roof down here. three-quarter full stadium, magnificent stadium too at Kanga. Brought down superbly. That's a great ball into the penalty area. Milosevic anticipated beautifully the run there from Romero.
And there, Paul, again we saw the ball given away cheaply. There's nothing worse than you being in a situation where you've been defending, and then you're giving the ball back to the opponent so they can come and have a hit at you again. And the Argentinians are so good at keeping possession, keeping the ball wide, making you run close.
Vicente. Argentina queuing up just a fraction there. A lot of yellow shirts in there, making it very difficult for the Argentinians to find some room. But now they have out wide. With a good run from Cambiasso. And a good cross. Milosevic had it taken off his hands by a recovering run from Blatsis.
And here we see the cross to the near post, and Con Blatsis again saving the young Socceroos. He's had a magnificent game in the heart of the defence.
Aymar. Good ball to Riquelme inside the penalty area. Where is the defence? Milosevic called into action again. Riquelme, who's scored a goal a game in the tournament so far, looking to keep that record going. Corner to Australia. By my watch, we've had 41.5 minutes of the second half. The performance of Australia against Hungary was an improvement. The performance tonight has been a quantum leap by this side, who are getting better and better with every game. As Grella whips one over to the near post. Fox will get there. Munoz bringing it down. Well, Salakasidis onside. He's got Grella outside him on the right if he can find him. He didn't know he was there. Grella working his way back up the park after taking the corner. And Argentina through the centre now. Munoz trying to climb over Riquelme. Still Argentina in possession. Oh, that's the handball, is it? And it's a penalty to Argentina with just over 3 minutes remaining. Let's take another look here. Well, it clearly hit the arm of Hayden Fox, but was it intentional? That is the question. It won't make any difference. The penalty's been given. And now Danny Milosevic, the Australian captain, has a chance to rescue his side in the most unusual of circumstances. Barely any time left on the clock. Australia with this 3-2 advantage. Riquelme against Milosevic. He scored it. That's 3-3. Relief for the Argentinians, in particular the coach Jose Peckerman. We've still got some time on the clock. But Riquelme, the 17-year-old, has kept his head and held his nerve.
Yeah, Paul, what a magnificent penalty under the circumstances. He struck it well, sent the keeper the wrong way. There's no doubt that was going in the back of the net. How unlucky for the young Socceroos. They've fought very well, and having been 3-1 up, I feel at that point in time, if they just kept their head and kept playing the way they had been in the first half and the early stages of the second half, you may have seen this result a lot better for them. But all credit to the Argentinians. They've picked up the momentum, they've put a lot of pressure on the Australians, they've created a lot more opportunities, and they've deserved the goals. It was unfortunate it had to be through a penalty, which I feel was a penalty, and unfortunate for Hayden Fox on this occasion that he happened to give away that penalty that gave the Argentinians the equaliser.
Well, we're into stoppages time, but there will be several minutes of that given the injury to Danny Milosevic, so there's time for more. Whether it's to come from Argentina or Australia. Laxis. Beza. It's a free kick in favour of Australia there. Jose Peckerman makes another change. Fabian Corbero is about to come on, the fellow Sarsfield midfielder, and off will come the number 5 Cambiaso. Corbero with a short, brief talk before he went on. I'm sure just go on and score a goal, that would do us. Argentina, if the score remains at 3-3, would win the group with 7 points from their 3 games. Australia would move to outright second. The way this game has gone, we just don't know what's next. Australia stunned us with 2 in a minute in the first half. Munoz, Emerton, Grella. All of a sudden Australia are ready to play again. Little ball over the top, good ball as well from Grella. Salapasidis wide on the left. Still Salapasidis, he's gone down. That is a penalty. Amazing for Australia, but a chance to snatch victory right at the death. As we take another look at the incident here, Salapasidis, well, the referee went straight to his whistle. There was no hesitation from him. And what a remarkable last few minutes we've had here. And Franco, who was dancing with delight when Riquelme scored a penalty a moment ago, is now facing one of his own from Salapasidis. It's a goal to Australia! 4-3. Surely now the young Socceroos can hang on to this. Amazing scenes on the Australian bench. Still time for Argentina, but Salapasidis, 4 goals against the world champions. What a night for him. And he just wrong-footed the goalkeeper. Well, where will it end? Now, all of a sudden, Australia are leading the group. We're into time added on. We're just not quite sure what the referee has allowed for that. But look at the marking here. The referee constantly talking to the goalkeeper, Danny Milosevic, about keeping the ball moving quickly and not wasting any time. So he's quick to get on with the game. Australia surely now can start looking at the clock and counting down the seconds, though. I fear there's at least a couple more minutes to go.
Well, it's amazing how the game can turn so much. The Australian players being put under so much pressure by the Argentinians. The Argentinians get the result that they thought they had, was 3-all. And then all of a sudden Australia get back in front. But a very dangerous moment at this point in time. Again, near the end of this match with a free kick not too far out.
Milosevic has totally forgotten all of the pain he was in 20 minutes or so ago with that injury. He's just desperate to hang on here. And that wall, once again, seems an awfully long way back to me. Sarazuela over the ball. Drives it! Well, it so easily could have gone in the back of the net with the deflection. Instead, it's gone for a corner. Australia quickly on their toes to cut out the short corner. It came off Damianos on the end of the wall. Aymar with the corner. Flicked on at the near post. Salapasides up the park. We've had 50 minutes of the second half. Desperate stuff for Australia now. And a relieving goal kick there, signalled by the assistant referee on the far side. And that's it! It's over. Australia have won. They've won their group. They've beaten Argentina, the reigning champions. This is one of the great moments in Australian soccer, particularly at this level. But really a victory against Argentina at any level is a marvellous, marvellous night. A breathtaking match. We'll just recap the scorers. It's very simple for Australia. Salapasides with 4 out of 4. Romeo started strongly for Argentina with an early goal. Placenta and Riquelme with 2 in the second half. But what a night for that man there. Adelaide City's Costa Salapasides will never ever forget the day he scored 4 against Argentina. Australia have won the group and look likely to go on and play Mexico in the round of last 16. This era of young players is getting better and better as the tournament goes on. Australia 4, Argentina 3.